Call session number 114 to order. May we request the good MP, Sheikh Abdul Wahab Pak, to lead the invocation, and please remain standing for the national anthem and the singing of the Barm hymn.
Good prayer. Good prayer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma la tada' lana zamban fi hazal maqam illa ghafart, wa la maridan illa shafaita, wa la hamman wa la ghamman illa farrijtan, wa la daynan illa qadayta, wa la hajatan min hawaijina fi hazil hayati illa antana ala qada'iha rahman. ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم إنا نسألك من كل خير ما سألك منه نبيك وحبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ونستعيذ بك من كل شر ما استعاذك منه نبيك وحبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تعزنا وتنصر المسلمين في كل مكان، وأن تعلي بفضلك كلمة الحق والدين، وأن تشمل بعنايتك وحمايتك إخوان المجاهدين في كل مكان. اللهم انصر إخوان المجاهدين في فلسطين. اللهم انصر إخوان المجاهدين في فلسطين. اللهم انصر إخوان المجاهدين في غزة وفي كل مكان. ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, telos ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng bagaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang ay di magdidinig. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya ng pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Simula noon ng
of yesterday's session. There is no roll call. The floor leader.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuhu. Ma'am, before we resume with the remaining item that was left yesterday, the suspended session yesterday, I will move to amend the order of business to include some bills on first reading as well as bills on second reading. If I may, I respectfully move to be included on first reading BTA Bill number 412, BTA Parliament Bill number 413, BTA Bill number 414, which will be read on first reading, and for the bills on second reading, BTA Bill number 365, BTA Bill number 373, BTA Bill number 375, BTA Bill number 393, BTA Bill number 418, BTA Bill number 419. So move, Honorable Presiding Officer.
There is a motion from the floor leader for the amendment of today's order of business to include bills on first reading, number 412, 413, 414, and bills on second reading, number 365, 373, 375, 393, 418, and 419. Is there a second? Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Good afternoon, everyone. Those joining us today as well as those watching us online. I will now proceed. May I request the Secretariat be directed to read on first reading Bill numbers 412, 413, and 414. So moved, Honorable Presiding Officer.
The Secretariat is so instructed.
BTA Parliament Bill number 412 entitled An Act Providing for the Upgrade and Modernization of the Cotabato Airport in Dato Udin Sinsuat, Maguindanao del Norte, enhancing its infrastructure, promoting regional economic development, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Author, Member of Parliament, Bahintan Napatuan. Co-authors, Members of Parliament, Siti Pahani, Uy Oyod, Khalid Haji Abdullah, Laisa Lamia, Suharto Mulunto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasul Ismail, Rasul Mitmug Jr., Tawakal Mitimbang, Japar Polo Mikael Matalam, and Michael Mitimbang. BTA Parliament Bill number 413 entitled An Act Creating Bangsamoro Grand Athletic and Sport Complexes in Cotabato City and Lamitan City, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Author, Member of Parliament, Bahintan Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of Parliament, Siti Pahani, Uy Oyod, Khalid Haji Abdullah, Laisa Alamia, Suharto Mulunto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasul Ismail, Rasul Mitmug Jr., Tawakal Mitimbang, Japar Polo Mikael Matalam, and Michael Mitimbang. BTA Parliament Bill number 414 entitled An Act Establishing a College Education Bridging Fund to support qualified students from low-income families in the Bangsamoro region, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Author, Member of Parliament, Bahintan Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of Parliament, Siti Pahani, Uy Oyod, Khalid Haji Abdullah, Laisa Lamia, Suharto Ambuluto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasul Ismail, Rasul Mitmug Jr., Tawakal Mitimbang, Japar Polo Mikael Matalam, and Michael Mitimbang.
Floor leader.
Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Moving on to item B of the order of business, I respectfully move that we recognize one of the principal sponsors for Bill number 365, bill upgrading Datu Halun Sakilan Memorial Hospital. With that, I respectfully request that the Secretariat be instructed to read said bill number 365.
The Secretariat is instructed to do so.
BTA Parliament Bill number 365 entitled An Act Upgrading the Dato Halon Sakilan Memorial Hospital, Tawi-Tawi in the municipality of Bongao, province of Tawi-Tawi from a level 1 50-bed capacity to level 2, 200-bed capacity hospital, and appropriating funds thereof. Authors, Member of Parliament John Anthony Lim, Kadiel Sinolining Jr., and Soharto Amuludto. Co-authors, Members of Parliament Benjamin Long, Don Mustafa Long, Hasime Dilanggalan, Jose Lorena, Utu Salem Kutan, Hatimil Hasan, Ahmad Abbas, Ali Salik, Suarto Ismail, Said Salindab, Faisal Karun, Muhammad Kelly Antaw, Rasul Ismail, Harun Abbas, Amer Chakaria Rakim, Susana Nayatin, Abrar Hataman, Matarul Istino, Sulfikar Ali, Bayam, Alindato Pagayaw, Amiruddin Gaya, Mosber Aroden, Tumanda Antuk, Ahmad Amir Balindong, Abdul Basit Benito, and Baileng Mantawid.
Floor Leader.
Thank you, Secretariat. Honorable Presiding Officer, may I respectfully move that the Honorable MP Suharto Teng Ambolodto, MNSA, be recognized to render a sponsorship speech for this particular bill.
The Honorable MP Attorney Suharto M. Ambolodto, MNSA, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. To our Honorable Chief Minister, the Honorable Abdul Rauf Makakua, our Speaker, the Honorable Muhammad S. Yaqub, the Presiding Officer, Madam Deputy Speaker Liza Alamia, the Floor Leader, the Honorable John Christopher Lim, Anthony Lim, sorry, and members of this august body. I am very much privileged to rise before you today on the occasion of the sponsorship of the bill that proposes to upgrade the Tuhalon Sakilan Memorial Hospital from a level 1 50-bed hospital to a second level 200-bed hospital. Madam Speaker, members of this august body, we are trying to rationalize the delivery of primary and secondary healthcare facilities all over the autonomous region. In particular, in this case, would be the archipelagic province of Tawi-Tawi. You would understand, to most of us, if not all of us have already gone to Tawi-Tawi, you have seen the imperative that we set up primary level 1 health facility in most of our island municipalities in order to address the pressing health and medical needs of our people. Madam Speaker, notwithstanding the imperative that we set up these primary healthcare facilities, we need also to set up a referral hospital that will cater the people of Tawi-Tawi. Madam Deputy Speaker, the establishment, the upgrading of the Tuhalon Memorial Hospital would provide departmentalized services, intensive care unit, tertiary lab and X-ray facilities, and then board-certified specialists. Madam Speaker, notwithstanding that our MOTC has performed well in providing at least 2 to 3 flights from Zamboanga to Bongao and then back to Zamboanga City every day, it is still very expensive for our people. And we do have to understand that notwithstanding that for the longest time, ngayon lang po naging 41% ang poverty incidence natin sa Tawi-Tawi. Even that data is being contested, we do have to understand na kahit na po walang mahirap po sa ating mga kababayan, mga around 12 to 18% lang ang usual number ng poverty incidence natin in Tawi-Tawi, ngunit karamihan po sa kanila stay on the subsistence level, particularly dependent on our weakening seaweeds industry. Kaya po, maigi lang po sana na yung pong kasabay po ng pagtatayo, o mauna pa sa pagtatayo ng ating mga primary healthcare facility, ay magkaroon man lamang po ang ating mga kapatid na Sama, Badyaw, Tausog ng Tawi-Tawi ng karapat-dapat na referral hospital na hindi na natin kailangang pagkaitan ng mga ICU, ng mga X-ray, ng mga specialized services na kailangan pa nilang tumawid ng Zamboanga City para lamang mapagbigyan yung kanilang mga karamdaman. Mga kapatid po namin, ako po, kasama si Brother Jet Lim, si Dr. Jojo Sinulinding, hinihingi po namin ang inyong suporta. Hindi lamang po sa pagpasa ng Bill 375, kundi ang inyong suporta para sa daglian po. We hope po sana na makahabol po kami ang inyong mga kapatid, Badya, Sama, at Tausog ng Tawi-Tawi na magkaroon po ng katuparan yung kanilang karapatan para sa kalusugan. Uli po ang aming pagsusumamo. Alam po namin na sa tuwinan na lang, lalo na sa pagbagsak ng seaweeds, palagi niyo pong naaalala ang ating mga kapatid sa Tawi-Tawi. Ngunit ngayon po, sa pagkakataon po na ito, hinihingi po namin ang isang referral hospital. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much to the sponsor, MP Attorney Suharto Amboloddo. Floor Leader?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Thank you, MP Suharto Amboloddo, for that sponsorship speech. With that, Honorable Presiding Officer, I move that this particular bill be referred to the Committee on Health as well as the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Management.
There's a motion from the floor leader to refer BTA Parliament Bill number 365 to the Committees on Health and Finance, Budget, and Management. Do I hear a second? Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is carried.
At this outset, I would like to make a manifestation that a same bill, Bill number 45, filed earlier by our former colleagues, Attorney Amir Mawalil, as well as Kaka Ed Ali, have been second read as well. So I request the Secretariat to consolidate this as well.
The Secretariat instructed to take note of that both earlier bill and the current bill on the same hospital be consolidated. Floor Leader?
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Now I respectfully request the Honorable Secretariat to read BTA Parliament Bill number 373.
The Secretariat is instructed to read Parliament Bill number 373, the title, the authors, and the co-authors.
BTA Parliament Bill number 373 entitled, An Act Institutionalizing the Panglima Sugala Community Hospital, a 10-bed infirmary hospital in Panglima Sugala, Tawi-Tawi, providing funds therefore and for other purposes. Authors, Members of Parliament, John Anthony Lim, Cadel Sinulindig Jr., Haseme de Langalan, Maintan ng Batuang, Suharto Ambuloddo, and Kitam Kadatuan Jr. Co-authors, Members of Parliament, Ahmad Abbas, Amiruddin Gayak, Alindato Pagayaw, Mosber Alaudin, Amer Jakaria Rakim, Ramon Piang Sr., Said Salendab, Susana Nayatin, Ali Salik Hussein Munoz, Harun Abbas, Zulfikar Ali Bayang, Dan Asnawi, Muhammad Yakub, Muhammad Kelly Antaw, Proel Mendoza, Obaida Pakasam, and Uto Salim Kutan.
Floor Leader?
Thank you, Secretariat. Honorable Presiding Officer, may I respectfully move that the Honorable MP Teng Ambuloddo be recognized to render sponsorship speech for this particular bill. So moved.
MP Attorney Suharto Ambuloddo, MNSA, is recognized.
Thank you again, Madam Deputy Speaker. Again, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Floor Leader, Mr. Floor Leader, in this instance, we would again seek the support of the members of this august body. Madam Deputy Speaker. In the instance in Panglima Sugala, even during there has already been an attempt to establish a hospital in Panglima Sugala. This is the Panglima Sugala Community Hospital. It is a 10-bed infirmary hospital. Madam Deputy Speaker, ang hinihingi lang po ng ating mga kababayan sa Panglima Sugala ay para mag-operate na po, ma-institutionalize at ma-operationalize na po natin yung community hospital doon po sa bayan ng Panglima Sugala. At ang hinihingi lang po nila ay ma-operationalize, hindi po 25-bed capacity, hindi po 50-bed capacity, hindi po level 2, hindi pa nga ito level 1. Infirmary lang po ang hinihingi ng ating mga kababayan sa bayan ng Panglima Sugala. Mabanggit ko lang din po sa inyo na ang Panglima Sugala, isa po sa pinakaabanting seaweeds farm sa lalawigan ng tawi-tawi. Marapat lang po sana na mapagbigyan po natin dahil na rin po sa layo nila sa Bungaw kung saan andoon ang ating level 1 provincial hospital. Para lang po hindi na po kailangang tumawid pa ng dagat patungo ng Bungaw ang ating mga kababayan sa Panglima Sugala, narapat lang po sana na suportahan natin ang pagkakaroon nila ng isang institutionalized at operationalized na Panglima Sugala Community Hospital. Madam Deputy Speaker, kung lahat po ng tao sa buong lalawigan ng tawi-tawi ay kinailangan pa pong pumunta sa Bungaw para humanap po ng kalunasan sa kanilang sakit, ano pong mangyayari sa ating healthcare facility? Level 1 na, 50-bed capacity pa. Ngayon po, manarapat po natin na sana po yung mga primary healthcare. At in this instance, what we are only asking is an infirmary at 10-bed capacity. And we are not even asking for the legal constitution, creation, establishment of the hospital. We simply need to institutionalize what has already been established by the former regional government. Madam Deputy Speaker, ano pa po ang mas sasakit? Binigyan ka ng hospital, hindi mo naman magamit kung saan nangangailangan ang ating mga kababayan. Madam Deputy Speaker, mga kapatid po namin dito sa Bangsamoro Transition Authority, members of this august body, sana po daglian po nating masagot yung pangangailangan ng ating mga kapatid ukol sa karapatan para sa kalusugan. Maraming salamat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, MP Attorney Suharto Amboloto. The floor leader, I can see...
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Before I refer this particular bill to the appropriate committee, may I respectfully move that the Honorable Deputy Speaker Jose Iribani Lorena of Sulu and Tawi-Tawi be recognized to make some manifestation.
The Honorable Deputy Speaker Jose Iribani Lorena is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Floor Leader. I would have not stand for the purpose of questioning the resolution or the bill, but I just want it to be clarified because presently Panglima Sugara Infirmary Hospital has been allocated a funding of 25 million in our budget hearing because it is attached as an annex to Bungaw Hospital, that Halon Hospital. If the intention of the bill is to fully institutionalize it as a separate hospital, separate from Bungaw, no longer an annex, then that will be good. But my concern is, since the appropriation is Bungaw, it should be made very clear that the intention is to separate the Panglima Sugala hospital as indicated in this particular bill, so that in due time, a provision should be included in the budget that will be the intent of this legislation, and the budget allocated for the infirmary school will now be transferred to the institutionalized Panglima Sugala. And I'd like to be part of this bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker Joe Lorena. Floor Leader?
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. With that, I respectfully move that this particular bill be referred to the Committee on Health as well as the Committee of Finance, Budget and Management. So move, Honorable Presiding Officer.
The floor leader has moved to refer BTA Parliament Bill number
373, Honorable Presiding Officer.
373 on Panglima Sugala Community Hospital to the Committee on Health and the Committee on Finance, Budget and Management. I hear the second. Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. With the manifestation, a request that the manifestation of the Honorable Deputy Speaker Jose Bani Lorena be transmitted as well for the consideration of the committees where this bill has been referred.
Secretariat is instructed to do so. Floor leader, please
Thank
proceed.
you, Honorable Presiding Officer. We move to BTA Bill number 375. May respectfully move that the Secretariat be directed to read the same.
The Secretariat is instructed to read BTA Parliament Bill number 375, the title, author, and co-authors.
BTA Parliament Bill number 375 entitled An Act Establishing a Community-Based Health and Wellness Program for Senior Citizens in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, providing for its inclusive access to essential health and social services and appropriating funds therefore. Author, Member of Parliament Hasime de Langgalan. Co-authors, Members of Parliament Nabil Tan, Sulpikal Ari Bayam, John Anthony Lim, Michael Mitimbang, Mujib Abu, Suhaib Oranon, Tawakal Mitimbang, Abrar Hataman, Ahmad Abbas, Amiruddin Gayak, Alindato Pagayaw, Mosber Alauden, Amir Jakaria Rakim, Ramon Piang Sr., Said Salendab, Susana Nayatin, Ali Isalik, Ali Rakim Mundir, Hussein Munoz, Harun Abbas, Dan Asnawi, Muhammad Kelly Antao, Froilan Mendoza, and Otto Salim Kutan.
Floor leader.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Thank you, Secretariat. Before I move to recognize the sponsorship speech to be rendered by the MP, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Presiding Officer, friends from the City Council of Davao, Attorney, Councilor Petit Principe and Laika Sarenas, who are joining us there in the gallery.
Welcome to the BTA Parliament, Attorney Laika Sarenas.
And Attorney Petit Principe, Councilor.
And Laika, the mother, is also here. And Councilor
Petit Principe.
Petit Principe. Welcome to the BTA Parliament.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Welcome, Ms. Dames. Now, I move to respectfully recognize MP Dr. Hashemi Dilangalen to render sponsorship speech for this particular bill.
The good doctor, MP Dr. Hashemi Dilangalen, is recognized.
Thank you, Presiding Officer, Madam Deputy Speaker, Attorney Liza Malamia. So, to our Chief Minister, Honorable Abdurrauf Makakua, to our Speaker, Honorable Dr. Muhammad Yaqub, represented by our Deputy Speaker, Attorney Liza Lamia, our floor leader, Attorney John Anthony Lim, and to my fellow members of this august bodies, guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. I want to share with you a measure that comes from a very practical need. We have all seen in our communities, many of our senior citizens still struggle to access basic health and wellness services. Nakikita natin sila sa barangay halls, rural health units, and even in their homes. Some wait long before a checkup becomes available. Some stop taking maintenance medicines because they cannot afford nor they can travel. Some depend entirely on family members because there is no structured support for aging in their area. The data reinforces what we see as of 2020 census BARM had more than 181,000 senior citizens. This number will continue to increase as our population shifts. Yet key indications remain low. Vaccination coverage for seniors has historically lagged behind the national average. Routine geriatric checkups reach only a small percentage. Access to physical therapy, mental health support, and assistive devices is still minimal. And we still do not have a region-wide senior citizen health information system to give us accurate and up-to-date data. These are not complaints. These are realities. And because they are realities, kailangan natin ng sistemang kayang umabot sa kanila. Hindi lamang sa papel, kundi sa aktual na serbisyo. This proposed bill establishes the Bangsamoro Healthy Aging and Wellness Program. It is community-based. It strengthens our barangay health stations and equips mobile outreach teams to serve GDAS. It supports rehabilitation services. It opens door for mental health care, nutrition counseling, and home-based services for bedridden elders. And it creates a senior citizen health information systems so planners, LGUs, and ministries finally share one clear picture. The goal of this bill is simple. That is, aging in BARM should not depend on where you live. Hindi dapat nakaasa sa swerte or connection. Every senior citizen deserves access to basic care. Even small interventions matter. Regular checkups, guidance on mobility, vaccination, a home visit when needed, a clear referral pathway. These are basic, yet many elders still do not receive them. This bill also strengthens collaboration between MOH and MSSD because aging is both a health issue and a social issue. Hindi pwedeng kanya-kanya. Our seniors need an integrated systems that follow them from continuity to RHU to provincial facilities. And allow me to kindly emphasize, this is not an expensive, high-tech concept. This is a practical program that builds on what we already have. We are simply organizing it, strengthening it, making sure it reaches the people who need it most. Alam naman po natin, this parliament has done and passed a lot of great and practical laws. When we invested and built roads, school and hospitals, we invested in the future. But we must also remember those who carried us to this present. Our elders shaped our communities. They guided our families. They endured the seasons of conflict that many younger generations did not witness. Hindi sila dapat mapag-iwanan habang tumatanda. Through this bill, we want to give them something simple pero mahalaga. Ito po yung consistent care, predictable care, care that respects their dignity, care that acknowledges their contribution to our region. What this bill gives us is a chance to organize what we already know needs to be done, a chance to bring basic services closer to our seniors, a chance to make our system a little easier for them to navigate. Our elders are not asking for anything complicated. Gusto lang nila ng regular check-up, clear guidance. A little support with mobility, someone who can visit when they cannot leave their home. A health system that does not forget them. This measure helps us move in that direction in a way that our ministries and LGUs can actually implement. With that, Madam Speaker, Mr. Floor Leader, and dear colleagues, I respectfully ask for your support for this bill. Maraming salamat po. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, MP Dr. Hashemi Dilanggalan. Floor Leader?
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Thank you, MPs Dilanggalan. 1 minute suspension.
Session suspended.
Allah
Floor Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. For this particular bill, Bill number 375, respectfully moving that this be referred to the Committee on Health, Committee on Social Services and Development, and finally the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Management. So move, Honorable Presiding Officer.
The floor leader has moved to refer BTA Parliament Bill number 375 to the Committee on Health, the Committee on Social Services and Development, and the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Management. Do I hear a second? Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is approved. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. We move now to BTA Bill number 393. Respectfully moving that the Secretariat be directed to read the same. So moved, Honorable Presiding Officer.
The Secretariat is instructed to read the title, the authors and co-authors of BTA Parliament Bill number 393.
BTA Parliament Bill number 393 entitled An Act Converting the Matanog World Assembly of Muslim Youth Clinic in the Municipality of Matanog, Province of Maguindanao del Norte into a Level 1 hospital with 10-bed capacity to be known as the Matanog District Hospital, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Authors, Members of Parliament Abdul Rauf Makakua and Boots Malang. Co-authors, Members of Parliament Tumanda Antok, Kadel Sinulindig Jr., Kitam Kadatuan Jr., Nagib Sinarimbo, Abdul Basit Benito, Muhammad Najir Ibil, Alindato Pagayaw, Baintan ng Patuan, Tawakal Mitimbang, Abrar Hataman, Faisal Karon, Amiruddin Gayak, Ramon Piang Sr., Ahmad Abbas, Obayda Pakasam, Royle Mendoza, Mosber Alaudin, Michael Mitimbang, Said Sheikh, Said Salendab, Muhammad Kelly Antaw, Susana Anayatin, and Romeo Sema.
Floor Leader.
Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. At this point, respectfully moving to recognize the Honorable MP Butch Malang to render sponsorship speech for this particular bill.
The Honorable MP Butch Malang is not in the session.
In that case, Honorable Presiding Officer, I will move to defer the reading of sponsorship speech later this afternoon when the good MP returns. In the meantime, if
Please
you will
proceed.
if you will allow, respectfully moving to item number for item number 7, which is Parliament Bill 418, move to defer the same until tomorrow because the principal author wishes to render his sponsorship speech personally. That is BTA Bill number 418, an act granting zero hospitalization billing for expired patients in government hospitals of the Bangsamoro region. And now I move to item number 8, respectfully moving that the Secretariat be directed to read the same. Parliament Bill number 419.
Thank you, Floor Leader. The Secretariat is instructed to read BTA Parliament Bill number 419, the title, the authors, and co-authors.
BTA Parliament Bill number 419 entitled An Act Amending Bangsamoro Autonomy Act number 35 entitled An Act Providing for the Bangsamoro Electoral Code of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Authors, Members of Parliament Rasul Mitmug Jr., Zakaria Rakim, Ali Rakim Monder, Baintan ng Batuan, Amiruddin Sumagayan, Maruf Kandaw, Ibrahim Ibay, Sulfikar Ali Bayam, Abdul Basit Benito, Rashid Adyong, and Ashok Mastura. Co-authors, Members of Parliament Hatimil Hassan, Romeo Sema, Mosber Alden, and Susana Anayatin.
Floor Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. With that, I respectfully move to recognize the Honorable Deputy Floor Leader Rasul Mitmog Jr. to render sponsorship speech for this particular bill.
Madam Speaker, the bill already have an explanatory note. We would just like to request the floor leader to adopt the explanatory note, Madam Speaker.
Okay. The Floor Leader is recognized in retrospection. Deputy Floor Leader. Floor Leader?
Honorable Presiding Officer, with the manifestation of the good Deputy Floor Leader, I move that the explanatory note contained in the body of the bill be treated as the sponsorship speech for this particular bill.
There is a motion to treat the explanatory note of Parliament Bill number 419 as the sponsorship speech for this particular bill. Is there a second? Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is approved.
With that, Honorable Presiding Officer, I move that this particular bill, Bill number 419, be referred to the Committee on Amendments. So move, Honorable Presiding Officer.
The floor leader has moved to refer BTA Parliament Bill number 419 to the Committee on Amendments. Do I hear a second? Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is carried.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. As earlier manifested, since the Honorable MP Butch Malang for Bill number 493 has returned,
393.
may I therefore respectfully move that he be recognized to render sponsorship speech for this particular bill. Thank you. So move, Honorable Presiding Officer.
The Honorable MP Butch P. Malang is recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. To our Chief Minister Abdul Rauf Makakwa, to the esteemed Speaker of the Parliament, Dr. Muhammad Yaqub, our Deputy Speakers and Deputy Pro Leaders, distinguished colleagues in this august body, honored guests in the gallery, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before I begin, allow me to recall a verse from the Holy Quran in Surah Al-Madiyah, verse 32, which says, "And whoever saves one life, it is as if he had saved all of mankind." This verse reminds us that the act of saving a single life is a service of immense value before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is in this spirit that I rise before you today with humility, conviction, and faith to sponsor a mission that speaks directly to the essence of our moral governance and our duty to our people. This proposed bill seeks to convert the existing Matanog WAMI or WAMY clinic in the municipality of Matanog, World Assembly of Muslim Youth, a province of Maguindanao del Norte, into a level 1 municipal hospital to be known as the Matanog District Hospital. This facility shall commence with a 10-bed capacity and shall provide crucial health service, including emergency care, outpatient consultation, minor surgical operation, maternal and child care, and basic laboratory diagnosis. Mr. Speaker, for many of us who have walked the long road of the Bangsamoro struggle, the municipality of Matanog is not merely a place on the map. It is a living testament to the resilience and sacrifices of our people. It lies within the perimeter of Camp Abu Bakar Siddiq, the historic bastions of our struggle for justice and self-determination. During the dark years of the army struggle, particularly in the all-out war, Matanog bear the brunt of displacement and devastation. I recall vividly as one of the served as a ground commander of the Bangsamoro Islamic Armed Forces, the countless men, women, and children who fled from their home under fire, seeking refuge in the mountain, clutching their faith and hope that that peace would one day be more than just a dream. Many of them were from Matanog. They were among the first to open their homes, share their food, and lend their strength to the cause of freedom and self-determination. Their loyalty to the Bangsamoro cause was unwavering and their sacrifices immeasurable. And yet, Mr. Speaker, despite all that, they give their communities remain among the least served when it comes to a basic and social services. Even today, when a child in Matanog falls gravely ill or a mother experiences complication in a childbirth, they must travel great distance, often through rough road terrain to reach the nearest hospital. For many, that journey determines the thin line between life and death is the painful truth that moves me deeply, not only as a legislator, but as a son of the struggle to push for the measure with all sincerity. Mr. Speaker, transforming the Matanog Wami Clinic into the municipal hospital is not merely a construction project. It is an act of justice. It is an act of gratitude. It is a sacred fulfillment of our promise to the people who once carried the weight of war and who now deserve to carry the blessing of peace. This hospital shall stand as a sanctuary of healing, a place where the cries of the wounded and the weary will be replaced by the laughter of children and the gratitude of mothers. It will embody the transformation of the Bangsamoro from the bullets to boats, from trenches to treatment, from conflict to care. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, the new battleground of the Bangsamoro is not in the mountain, but in the chambers of governance. Our weapons now are compassion, integrity, and public service. Our victories are no longer measured by territories won, but by lives uplifted and communities healed. This is the very essence of moral governance, that we translate our faith and struggle into policies that protect life and restore dignity. Let us make this measure a living proof that the sacrifices of Matanog were not in vain. Let us build this hospital as a monument of peace, a place where the sons and daughters of the Mujahideen will grow up healthy, educated, and proud to be a part of the Bangsamoro that values life and loss. As our elders in the barangay say, when one community suffers, the whole nation feels the pain. When one is neglected, the whole people are wounded. Mr. Speaker, let us ensure that Matanog will no longer suffer, nor be forgotten. Let this be our collective healing, our tribute to their loyalty, and our living testimony that peace has indeed reached even the farthest corners of our homeland. Mr. Speaker, I earnestly seek the support of the Honorable Parliament for the immediate passage of this bill for the people of Matanog, for the memory of our martyrs, and for the future of a truly compassionate and self-reliant Bangsamoro. Before I end up my speech, I just want to take this opportunity to extend my gratitude, thanks to the family Ibay for supporting us during the time that we did it most. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, MP Butch Malang. Floor leader.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Thank you, MP Sir Butch Mala. Honorable Presiding Officer, respectfully moving that this particular bill, bill number
393.
393, be referred to the Committee on Health as well as to the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Management. So move, Honorable Presiding Officer.
There is a motion from the floor leader to refer Parliament Bill number 393 to the Committee on Health and the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Management. Is there a second? Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is carried.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. We now go to the last item of the, in the order of business, which is the Committee Report 175, BTA Bill number 286 on the Bangsamoro Revenue Code. Those members of the Parliament who wish to interpolate, please submit your names to the Secretariat so you may be included. In the meantime, I will move for a health break, 5 minutes suspension, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Session suspended. Session resumed.
Thank you,
Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer. Good afternoon, everyone, again. We will now next in the order of business, Honorable Presiding Officer, is the Committee Report 175 pertaining to BTA Parliament Bill number 286, otherwise known as the Bangsamoro Revenue Code. We have several interpellators in line. At this point, I move to recognize the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Jose Iribani Lorena, to render the report or to defend this report, and also moving to recognize the Honorable Dr. Hashemi D. Langalen to interpolate.
Thank you, Floor Leader. The Honorable Deputy Speaker, Joe Jose Iribani Lorena, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Before I yield to the interpellation, I'd just like to state that we have already submitted the report as early as 3 weeks ago. And this Bangsamoro Revenue Code is a priority legislation provided for under Section 4 of Article 16, which is, I think, the last code that we have to accomplish if truly the transition would succeed, because as provided, this is the number 2 item in the priority of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, second only to the Administrative Code. On the note, we have already submitted the bill, the committee bill, after amending certain provisions submitted by the MFBM to us and referred to the committee. We have now a 402-page Bangsamoro Revenue Code, and this is divided into 11 books. And I think there are also important provisions that would be highlighted in the course of the interpellation. And secondly, the committee submitted the committee report with an open mind. And any serious amendments that is to be propounded would be looked into by the committee, and we are ready to accept or to deny as well. With that, I am now ready to yield to any interpellation by any member of the Parliament.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker Joe Lorena. As stated by the good sponsor, this is the last priority code that we are mandated to pass under the Bangsamoro Organic Law. Let us be mindful of that. If we do not pass this law, if we are not able to pass this final priority code at the appropriate time, then we would not have succeeded in doing or dispensing with our responsibilities as members of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority. With that, I would like to, I recognize the good doctor, not the movie or the Netflix TV show, the good doctor, MP Dr. Hashemi Dilanggalan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Will the illustrious chair of the Ways and Means will yield to some clarificatory questions?
Gladly, Mr. Speaker, especially from a very famous doctor like Dr. Dilangganan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate our Honorable Chair for the report of this, one of the 6 priority bills that that is included in the Bangsamoro Organic Law. Thank you. With that, Madam Chair, my first question is, how does the Bangsamoro Treasury Office intend to reconcile the immediate remittance rule in Section 100 with the operational reality that MOTC agencies such as the airports, the ports, the maritime, and the telecommunication office must incur safely critical expenditures in real time, not after treasury crediting delays?
Thank you. The immediate remittance rule is founded upon the provision of Republic Act 11054, which states that no money should be dispensed without an appropriation. Secondly, that all collections of the BARM agencies must first be remitted to the Treasury before it is, so that it can be appropriately allocated and appropriated by the Parliament. Having said that, any disbursement of fund by agency without an appropriation would constitute an illegal act. But we are minded with the realities that there are agencies that need support from the Bangsamoro Transition Authority. This can be reconciled by providing in the appropriation certain usage for collecting agencies on a percentage basis. For example, if there is a collection of the MOTs in the amount of 100 million from all its regulatory fees, then, but there are needs that has to be answered by this agency, the 100 million should first be appropriated, should first be remitted to the Treasury, and this 100 million can be appropriated by the Parliament. But the Parliament, in due recognition of the problem of major agencies, can provide a provision that certain percentage will be served for purposes of utilization by this agency in order that we will be able to address the problem that is being confronted by these agencies. So, but it is already part of the appropriation.
Deputy Speaker Lorena, please,
Yes.
speak to the mic
Yes,
so that we
so-
can hear your,
Yes.
your explanation.
Yes, Madam Speaker. So, it should still be part of the appropriation, but already identified to be that could be sourced by the agency concerned. But we cannot allow agency to collect and use the collection for purposes of their operation without it being remitted to the Treasury, because I already intimated earlier that that constitutes a violation of law, violation particularly of Republic Act 1104, which says that no money should be dispensed without a necessary appropriation from the Parliament. Thank you.
Thank
MP
you.
Dilanggalan?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As I've what understand to the statements of the chair of the chair of the Committee on Ways and Means, that hindi pwede na yung isang collecting agencies na yung kanilang nakokolekta sila na yung magpupondo. Kailangan pa itong dumaan sa Parliament para ma-appropriate ng maayos. Tama po ba yung pagkaintindi ko?
Yes, first it will be remitted to the Treasury because all collection must be deposited to the Treasury. And from the collection already in the Treasury, then that would be appropriated by the Bangsamoro Parliament.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In line with that, Madam Speaker, pwede ho ba na ang mangyari, for example, yung Bangsamoro Airport natin, naka-remit siya ng 100 million. And then, yun nga po yung process, dadaan sa Bangsamoro Treasury Office, then i-appropriate ng Bangsamoro Parliament. Is there any chance na pwedeng pag matapos yung process, yung 70% or ilang percent nung kanilang na-remit mababalik sa for example, yung Bangsamoro Airport, Madam Speaker?
Well, it's possible, but it is subject to the discretion of the Parliament, depending on the need. Because we should be managing the funds of the Bangsamoro in its totality, not just for the specific agency. But from experience in other jurisdictions, there is a certain percentage allocable for that agency. First, to motivate the agency to collect more. Second, to address the problem of the agency concerned, either in terms of their mobility, in terms of their infrastructure. But the percentage will be determined by the Parliament.
But if, Madam Speaker, one last question. Pwede bang dito pa lang sa interpolation na to, pwede na tayo, is there any chance na we can make allow to, on what percentage na mababalik sa BAA or sa any agencies na pwedeng pagbalikan ng fund?
Not that I want to, but it cannot, because we cannot supplant the power of the Parliament to look into the appropriation of the Bangsamoro government. We cannot in this code, but perhaps when appropriation is set, then it can be done. For example, there is the provision of the tobacco collection from tobacco. There is provided for in a law. Unless there is a law which says that collection for this is set aside, then that can be implemented by Parliament. But to put it in the revenue code would be to dismangle the code. Why? Because all agencies, collecting agencies, will already demand that all their collections will be set aside for them. So what is the discretion given to Parliament? If you have already allocated all the collection for specific agencies, nothing, then it violates the principle that the Parliament is supreme in the appropriation of the budget of the Bangsamoro government.
Thank you for the answer, Madam Speaker. With that, I will propose an amendment to regarding to this topic, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you, MP Dr. Dilangalen.
Thank you.
PS Lorena, just to try to synthesize, because this is important. This is like a taxation law classroom. There is agencies, collecting agencies have authority to retain the collections, the earnings of the agency. And it is stated in the law that created them. And the amount that is remitted to the regional treasury should be subject to the Parliament's power of the purse.
Yes. You can, in the charter of each company, we can provide a percentage here. But in the code, we cannot.
In the code, we cannot, because we will be usurping through this code the power of the Parliament, of the future Parliament, to appropriate that amount that has been collected by the agency which has been submitted to the regional treasury. As to the retention, it's the agency's charter or law that created it that states how much is the retention rate for collections.
That's correct, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker Joe Lorena. Floor Leader, are there any other interpellators?
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Indeed, we have so many interpellators in line. Next to interpellate is the Honorable Deputy Speaker Adsfar Usman. Move to recognize the Honorable Deputy Speaker.
The Honorable Deputy Speaker Adsfar Usman from Sulu is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope my esteemed brother from Sulu and Tawi-tawi and answer some of my general questions. First of all, Madam Speaker, I would like to ask how universal is the collection? I mean, the spare and width of our revenue code to be applied in the Bangsamoro?
Well, the revenue code takes in consideration all the experiences of the region and jurisprudence from previous jurisdiction in order that its applicability would be general. It will be general. The only distinction here in the revenue code is because of the idiosyncrasies prevalence in the region, we have proposed a segregation of funds in the collection. More particularly, funds collected from seed taxes, which we consider in the tax code as a non-halal collections, and those which are halal collection, either from our sources of revenue. This is done precisely in answer to a claim of many ulama and our expert that we should not be commingling halal funds with non-halal funds, because sometimes you have to support programs for purposes of Islamic activity that may not only injure the purpose, but will be detrimental to Muslim families in our region.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker. That is precisely the intent of this question of how halal would be our collections. And I would be happy to note, because actually it was really my intention, my wish, how I wish in the past that I was part of the Committee on Ways and Means, but I was not able to be part of that. And I want to be reassured that, of course, I'm happy that there would be a segregation of our collection as to the sin tax in some other taxes out of non-Islamic activities in the region. For example, Madam Speaker, what about the tourists, for example, coming in to our island provinces? How we are going to deal with them on serving liquors, or for example in some other parts that there are pubs and disco houses. How we're going to deal with this engagement, economic activities as far as collection is concerned. And I would be very happy it was already answered that there would be a segregation. And I hope that the segregation is not only on the collection, but on the purpose of that funds collected. It is also segregated?
Yes, because, there are collections which are intended for religious purposes. So the utilization are well defined. For example, in the case of zakat. In the case of zakat, there are purposes for which the money is to be utilized. They call it sinips. According to the public consultation we have with the ulama, that should be complied with. So I think certain provisions such as that are also being put into the revenue code to protect all of us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Talking of zakat, in personal income tax, for example, will the Bangsamoro government count the zakat religiously given or complied by individual will be counted as when there will be an institution to collect such zakat? Will it be counted to be part of the personal income tax of the taxpayers?
In the discussion of this code, there was a discussion on possible deduction of zakat given to a vital mal. Fortunately, we have not covered that exhaustively here because in terms of income tax, we have to relate with the BIR at the time. So it was not incorporated in this Bangsamoro code yet. But there was the desire to have an institution for the collection of zakat so that the collection can be done. There is much impact and opposition to the establishment of vital mal in the consultation. Because if you will note, the collection of zakat as of the moment is being done most to most, not yet by an institution of a vital mal or a treasury. So it would be very hard, it would be very difficult to implement that. We might be creating a lot of problems in the future. But there is the contemplation to do that in the future. But if there are certain amendments to fortify this, then I think the committee, is ready to accept them.
Oh, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. My last question is, would there be a target collection? I mean, the amount that if this revenue code will be religiously implemented, will our target collections, how much could it be as far as the revenue of the Bangsamoro government is concerned? And to include also the cost of collecting it, Madam Speaker, the cost. of
Thank you. I must admit that we don't have the facts and the figures at that time to determine
the target.
exactly how much local collection can be derived. But for specific taxation here, like the environmental tax in tawi-tawi, that would increase gradual our taxation, because what is provided here, that we will impose an environment tax for all vessels crossing the Cebu Strait in the amount of $1,000 per boat. And the estimated boat crossing through Cebu Strait is about 200, but we will just take it at one half, at 50%. So if you have 1,000 at 100, you have $100,000 a day. So that would up the revenue. This would help us in sustaining the programs of the Bangsamoro government.
Oh, thank you very much, Madam Chair, and congratulations to the committee for coming up with this revenue code, our last mandate in this Bangsamoro Transition Authority. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, DS Adsfar Usman. DS Joe Lorena, I'd like to propound just one question as the presiding chair, as a
Gladly,
follow-up.
Madam Speaker.
As a follow-up of the question on zakat, is there a provision in the current amended revenue code that considers the payment of zakat by employees as an allowable deduction in the taxes, the income tax that needs to be paid to the BIR?
Gladly, but you know, my vice chairman is the Minister of Finance, Budget and Management, and he is present here. In the submission, there was none, and therefore in the committee we did not put in that kind of. But as I said, there is an intention in the discussion, in the focus discussion. There was an intention to work, but we have to work first with the mechanics of collection of zakat. Nothing in the proposal includes the collection of zakat, because zakat collection would have to be institutionalized if we can establish a vital mal for zakat, different from the treasury.
Yes, Lorena. In the meantime, so it's not the collection, but each of us right now, we are employed. We're paying income tax at the end of the year. There is a tax that is withheld, and there are allowable deductions from the income tax because this BARM is unique, and we're all paying zakat on our own. Can we include that payment that we're doing on our own in our different masjids, different mosques, and different persons all over? Can we include that as a deduction, of course, subject to some guidelines, in the allowable deductions in the income tax? Is there something like that in the revenue code?
First, Madam Speaker, first, the income taxation is subject to national legislation. Second, we cannot impose it here because we have to work that out first with the national government. Thirdly, in the tax code, revenue code of the Philippines, there is such thing as exemption for purposes for donations. And zakat can be in the nature of a donation. That can be accepted under that BIR tax law. But in this code, I must be frank, we have not included that as yet because I think it would have to be a subject. That is why of a discussion between us and the national government. But nonetheless, may I ask the help of a good friend, the Vice Chairman, Minister Bayedex Pacasem, to respond categorically to that.
The Minister of Budget and Finance and Budget Management, MP Bayedex Pacasem, is recognized.
Madam Speaker, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For the context, Madam Chair, we got clearance, or we secured clearance on the possibility of including Zakah in the Bangsamoro Revenue Code when we were drafting it, but the recommendation was not to include Zakah as a form of sources of revenue, and eventually there was a sort of recommendation as well to have that done separately. Not in the Bangsamoro Revenue Code, Madam Speaker. It was mentioned by the good Deputy Speaker that the zakat, or the point raised, is that the payment of the zakah is to be considered as a deduction in the computation of the income tax. The Deputy Speaker is right when he said that the income tax is a national legislation, and we are to be guided the provision of the organic law that in the event of imposing taxes, or in the passage of any revenue code, you have to make sure that the income tax will not be decreased, Madam Chair. So while there is an idea that the payment of the zakah be considered as a deduction in the income taxes to be computed from the employees, we have to be guided by the organic provision, particularly on the possibility of reducing the income taxes that may be collected, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much for the clarification, Minister Pakasem and Deputy Speaker Joe Lorena, the sponsor. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. At this point, I move to recognize the next interpellator, the Honorable MP Suharto Teng Ambolodto, MNSA.
The Honorable MP Attorney Suharto Teng Ambolodto, MNSA, is recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have only a few questions. First and foremost, just for the record, Madam Speaker, how many sources of revenues is the BRC addressing or has provided for, Madam Speaker? The number and typology of the revenues addressed by the Bangsamoro Revenue Code, Madam Speaker.
Deputy Speaker Lorena.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, my floor leader, Suharto Ambolodto, for that question. Remember, in our sources of revenue, we have identified in the law, first the Black Rat, the National Assistance, and at the same time, the Special Development Fund. But there are powers granted to us for purposes of taxation. And these are the 4 powers which was transferred to us. The capital gains, the inheritance taxes, and all those. But it also granted us the power to collect for operations of businesses in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. We have also a power under Article 4 of the 11054 on what is favorable and good for the community. Meaning, while the intent is to tax, but the other powers is general welfare. So we have to include that in our taxes. That is why, if you will note, in this tax code, we have included environment tax. We have also included taxation from unutilized resources of the farm, like land. And of course, we have to implement the taxes that has been devolved to us. As I mentioned, inheritance, capital, documentary tax. Because that's power, it used to be power of the national government, was sought by us, and it was given to us under 1105 posts. All these components are included in our concept of what are to be taxed here. Because I'd like to add, presently we are relying on taxes from all over the country, but without us necessarily saying this is our contribution. The Black Rat, for example, is paying at 5% net of collection of BIR, 5% net of collection of custom. But this is only good for a period because there is a continuous review of the Black Rat. So the sustainability of fiscal capacity of the BARM is dependent on a revenue source which is contingent upon the national government. We have to source for funds different from that. And these are the operation of industries. That is why there is a power that all taxes, that all operations, all taxes for operation within the BARM, but using resources of the BARM should pay their taxes in our municipalities. So those has to be put in a law so that we can collect these taxes. There are also taxes collected by local government under the local tax code. But these are also within the jurisdiction of the BARM because for the first time, we have a regional government different from the province and the cities. So while they have a local tax code, they are also under the 1105 or under the supervision of the BARM for good governance. So we have to impose certain taxes that would meaningfully implement that. So all these sphere of revenue are included in a revenue code, including pompous display of wealth, because there is a proposal in the
Gucci,
tax code
Rolex.
which says that luxurious residences must be taxed, but that is still conditional depending on the plenary. So anyway, because the question is what are the taxes? Almost all where the Bangsamoro has jurisdiction are and therefore could be taxed are being taxed by us under this.
Madam Chair, so there are a lot of classes
Yes.
and classification and typology of revenues, including taxation, that is being addressed by this law. So let's go first to the four sources of revenue of taxation that have been transferred to the Bangsamoro. So when we say donors tax, do we mean are we levying the tax? Do we define the nature, rates of the tax rates, and then the locus and situs of this taxation? For instance, in donation tax, donors tax.
First, there is a provision under the law which says that with respect to all this, it will be a subject to the taxable elements. These taxable elements have already been defined by a resolution of the Intergovernmental Fiscal Policy Board.
Is it not, if I may interrupt, I may insert, Deputy Speaker, Madam Speaker, are we saying that the definition of these objects of taxation have been referred to and discussed in a conversation extraneous from provisions of the tax code, of the revenue code?
Yes, that is why the revenue code has been circumscribed within that discussion, because that discussion emanates from the organic law,
And
11054.
and then-
the definition of taxable elements are to define, as stated in the law, are to define firmly by the Intergovernmental Fiscal Board. So we have to comply with that resolution.
Yes, I understand, Madam Speaker. But Madam Speaker, does the proponent mean that the bounds of the imposition and treatment of the four taxes specifically mentioned in the Bangsamoro Organic Law needs to refer to another conversation or document extraneous of the Bangsamoro Revenue Code, or is it fully and well defined in the Bangsamoro Revenue Code itself?
It is now well defined in the code based on the resolution of the Fiscal Board.
So there is it's
There is
already
already
defined.
an exact definition of the
Okay, it's
taxable
already
elements.
defined.
Yes.
And the rates, therefore, how free are we in determining the rates that we can impose on this transaction?
Well, understanding 11054, it is specifically provided that as with respect to these powers granted to us, we have to comply and be consistent with national laws.
So we can only impose the rates as imposed by the national government,
Yes.
such that, and are these rates incorporated by reference, or have we copied the rates as is currently being applied in the national legislation?
The rates provided in the code reflects the power, the rate already provided in the national code. But there is and we also have a colatilla that this increase can only be done consistent with national law.
So, do we need that kulatilla, Madam Speaker, or is that matter, according to your conversation, such extraneous conversation, already supposed to be read into the law?
It is already read into the law. In fact, some specific provisions are already written in the law.
Okay. So, how much is the rate, for instance, for donor's tax today?
May I ask my vice chairman to answer that? I forgot about rates because I'm no longer preparing documents on rate. But I will ask the vice chair.
In the meantime, MP Amboloto, can you proceed to your next question while
So-
they are researching?
Okay. So, it is, the rate is similar to the national rate.
Yes.
So, we simply incorporated the rate that is being prescribed.
Yes.
When the national government reduces the rate, then we are compelled. Can this parliament be compelled by certiorari or by mandamus to legislate a reduction in rate?
Well, you know, the evolving power of the BARM and the national government must look into any issue on the matter. Because from my view, we have a power of general, common good. What is better for the Bangsamoro is recognized under 11054.
Yes.
Therefore, any divergence, and if there is a conflict between us in the discussion, then that can be a subject of the intergovernmental mechanisms. Because definitions, rates can be discussed, even of the law, because it is provided in our organic law. And we are only limited to that. So as far as I'm concerned, my view is, should a rate increase, should a rate lowering is done with the national government, we can raise that issue for purposes of the BARM in the context of our autonomy. So that, but to me, that is still a futuristic determination, because as of the moment, we are still complying to the nature and the rate of the Revenue Code of the Philippines.
Just for the record, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, so what we are saying here, Madam Speaker, is that our rates, the rates can be the subject of a conversation in the IGRB. Suppose the national government reduces its taxation, its levy or rates on particular taxation, the four particular taxation mentioned in the Organic Act, then that would have to be subject to conversation. But so therefore, Madam Speaker, what I am getting, Madam Speaker, is that we are not necessarily compelled to follow the rates of the national government. In fact, because there is the avenue for conversation, we can still insist on our rates, notwithstanding a modification in the national levy.
MP Amboloto, just to butt in the train of your thought. So let's say the national government abolishes the estate tax, which is currently about to happen. But estate tax is part of our revenue code. I think it relates to your earlier question. How will the BARM Parliament deal with that, or the BRC deal with that? Deputy Speaker Lorena.
That is correct. Because the power has been transferred to us, except that the rate is subject to a discussion. Then if in that instant, national government wishes to remove the state tax, or any tax for that matter, but we are not comfortable with the removal, then that can be an issue, because the grant of autonomy recognizes our power to direct our political, economic, and social life. On that context, that discussion could be done, and that we can insist that we can retain our state tax. Because that is the concept of autonomy as we have agreed in 1105.
Please proceed, MP.
Madam Speaker, I am simply bothered by the fact that the efficacy of our levy is contingent on whether people in Manila will agree or not with us in a conversation or in the IGRB. I thought laws are supposed to be mandatory, provides a mandatory prestation. It provides mandatory obligation that is not subject to contingency, that is based not on law but on a conversation between parties. I think the BRC may not have explicitly gone that far, but as the Deputy Speaker seemed to intimate, yun po yung maari niyang puntahan. So yun lang po yung I would stand that the levy and definitions in the BRC stands as it is until the Supreme Court says that it is already ultra vires. Other than that, our legislation, because we are a politically autonomous, politically empowered community, then we can legislate as far as what is on matters that have been properly devolved to us by the Constitution through legislation of Congress. Now, on the other hand, Mr. Speaker,
Madam Speaker, I'd just like to have a
Deputy Speaker Lorena?
We should remember that the grant of autonomy was put in a context. The grant of the powers of autonomy should be consistent to Article 10 of the Constitution. And Section 19, if I recall it correctly, did mention that we have to comply to national laws. But that is a context which we have not deliberated so much. But in the context of the autonomy as set in the preamble of 11054, I think we can legislate and test the power of autonomy when the right time comes.
I think we agree with the Deputy Speaker on that matter, notwithstanding the generosity and liberality that he has already intimated, but we stand with it. Now, Madam Speaker, on the matters of income tax, does the Bangsamoro Revenue Code in any manner deal with the collection of income tax?
Madam Speaker, just a minute.
Please proceed.
Yes, Madam Speaker, upon consultation with my Vice Chair, our Minister, who is in the forefront of the IGRB Fiscal Board, there is mention that as with regards to collection of income taxes, it is already with us, but the assessment is still being done with the national government.
Collection is with the BARM government,
Yeah.
but assessment is with the national government. Is that
Yes, but I think there is still one exception where we can collect, because the power to collect income taxes from savings in banks is given to us. Number 11054, that differs from the other income taxes.
On the matter of income taxes, we are not, the Bangsamoro Revenue Code, the collection of income tax generated within the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region is not treated by the Bangsamoro Revenue Code.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
It is not. The Bangsamoro Revenue Code does not discuss the collection of income tax imposed by the national government.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. So on matters on the local government, so the matter of collection is on a separate administrative matter, but not covered by this legislation.
Yes, that's correct.
Then, Madam Speaker, are we to understand that this legislation also cover collection of local taxes? Taxes that are that have been earlier identified by our local government code that can be collected by our local government code.
levied and
collected. Yes, madam.
Local taxation by local government are collected by the local government. But taxes collected by the imposed by the regional government are to be collected by the regional government.
Okay. The local government taxes that are to be collected by the local government are not covered by the Bangsamoro Revenue Code. Now, is there an instance that we have levied in the Bangsamoro Revenue Code that we have levied a tax on something that a similar tax has already been imposed by local government, by the local government unit?
In this revenue code, we have delineated what are the taxes of local government and what are regional taxes. However, since we have a local government code where we have submission like in the collection in the sand and gravel, then we impose an additional tax for purposes of the subdivision.
Just to be clear, please, DS Lorena, move the mic near.
Yes. Sorry, Madam
So
Speaker.
there is a regional tax imposed on top of the local government tax on sand and gravel.
An additional of 5%.
So,
Please proceed.
additional of 5%. Madam Speaker, then on matters of delivery bans, I would presume that the Bangsamoro Revenue Code has also levied additional tax. Delivery bans, what else? Those matters that are also being taxed by our local government units.
Originally, there was a tax on delivery bans, but a reading of the Constitution and a reading of the national law where we cannot impede business and commerce forced the committee to remove that.
So okay. So there are not all taxes that have been levied by the local government units are again subjected to another levy. So there are only a few. Now on the matter of this additional levy that the Bangsamoro government has been imposing on, in addition to those already imposed by the local government code, is this not an instance of double taxation that is frowned upon, if not prohibited, by our national taxation system as provided under Article 3
Yes.
of the Philippine Constitution?
I think we are aware of the double taxation theory because we invited a tax man to discuss to us on double taxation. A closer look of a Bangsamoro Revenue Code, they have categorically certified that because of the different jurisdiction of the taxes, that could not be considered as double taxation. Relying on that representative from the Court of Tax Appeals, the BIA on that definition and jurisprudence that they have, then we are simply saying that the provision in the Bangsamoro Local Revenue Code would not fall under double taxation.
So I understand, Madam Speaker, that the committee has been made to understand that even if the same transaction is levied by twice or thrice, for as long as it is of different jurisdiction or sources of taxing authority, that such does not constitute double or multiple taxation of the same transaction.
MP Ambolodo, would you like to ask the legal definition of double taxation to our proponent for clarification?
The problem, Madam Speaker, is that we cannot impose that on the proponent because the proponent seems to be relying on the representation of a representative of a Court of Tax Appeal. Even to insist on the definition, pero ang mangyayari lang po is that there has been a representation. My only query is that how binding would that representation be if assuming we are sued before the Supreme Court on the matter of double taxation?
But
In other words, Deputy Speaker Lorena, is there a legal justification, whether by fiat, constitution, or jurisprudence, that there is no double taxation with respect to those provisions?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. But our resource person presented to us decisions of the Supreme Court on that matter of jurisdiction. And we hold that binding because that decision is being used as basis by the Supreme Court presided by Justice Del Rosario. So it is a judicial notice that if it is a decision of a higher court on tax, that could be binding on other local courts. So on that basis, we hold that view. Although we may have some qualms in accepting it totally, but jurisprudence are jurisprudence. Although I am not really very particular with stare decisis, because in many opinion of the Supreme Court that can be reversed any time of the day. But suffice it to state that decision is the decision acceptable as of date. Thank you.
MP Amboloto?
And Madam Speaker, would it be safe to assume that such conversation has been reflected, such representation, particularly the citation of the pertinent cases, upon which the representative of the Court of Tax Appeals has made such manifestation or representation, has been appropriately reflected in the committee report?
Yes, in fact, it is all in the minutes of the meeting of the committee. In fact, at that time, I was still vice chair of the Committee of Finance. The Committee on Ways and Means was still presided by my good friend, now Excellency President Paisalin Tago, and the documentations are already documented, and it is part of the transcript of proceedings of the Committee on Ways and Means.
Now, okay, Madam Chair, let's go to the administration of taxation. Madam Chair, what is the structure? Would the BRC would the Bangsamoro Revenue Code be providing for the establishment of an office that would collect and administer these taxes?
Categorically, I would say yes, but I would ask my vice chair who will be supervising the Bureau of Revenue in the future to define for us and perhaps dichotomize the nature and the structure of the implementing bureaucracy as provided for in the code. May I, Madam Speaker, request the assistance of my good friend, the Minister, my Vice Chair, the Minister of the Finance.
The Vice Chair of the Committee on Ways and Means, MP and Minister Attorney Baij Pakasem is recognized.
I will try to, the Secretariat will try to flush the structure of the Bangsamoro Revenue Office, but Madam Speaker, the structure was actually included in the Bangsamoro Administrative Code, particularly the creation of the Bangsamoro Revenue Office, but this structure was enhanced in this Revenue Code, Madam Speaker. We're trying to have the structure flushed, but generally, Madam Speaker, the functions or the requirements of a certain structure as required by the functions necessary in the assessment and collection of the taxes to be imposed by this revenue code are particularly addressed in the structure for the revenue office, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, just last two questions, Madam Speaker. Basically, second to the last, Madam Speaker, basically how many people and in what level, is it regional? Do we have a provincial level? Or is it organized on a municipal level? This Bangsamoro Revenue Office is. Yun lang po yung tanong. And then, second question po, second to the last, para tawag dito consolidate na po natin is, how many employee, three questions pala. How many employees would this office initially require? And then, finally, on an annual operation, how much would it cost, Madam Speaker?
So your questions, MP Amboloto, would be, will this office be localized up to the municipal level?
How local will the office be stratified? Okay, that's one.
Second,
how many employees? And then
Last.
third, maybe how much would it cost? And then finally, Pang-apat na po, basically, with all of the data that is already before the committee, how much po yung expected natin na ma-generate natin na revenues next year? And siguro pang-lima na, compared to our share of these collections right now, yung difference po nila.
So you would like to know our investment in this office and what is the ROI
Yes, Madam Speaker.
once we have invested here.
Ang question talaga dyan, Madam Speaker, is that is it better that we collect it ourselves, or would Bangsamoro Treasury be more endowed, be greater endowed if we simply let other people collect it and then
And just receive the share.
Opo. Yun lang yung major logic lang po nun, which I think is the raison d'etre for the enactment of the Bangsamoro revenue fund.
Thank you, MP Amboloto. We will give an opportunity to the Vice Chair of the Committee on Ways and Means to respond to your 5 questions.
The Bangsamoro Revenue Office will collect, as already raised by the good Deputy Speaker and the Chair of the committee, taxes that are first levied by the national government, particularly the income taxes. So meaning these are imposed by the national government but are collected in the autonomous region. Therefore, the collection is no longer to be done by the BIR but already by the BRO or the Bangsamoro Revenue Office. Another collection that will be done by the Bangsamoro Revenue Office are the 4 taxes whose taxable elements are present in the autonomous region. This pertains to the capital gains tax, estate tax, donors tax, and documentary stamp tax. Madam Speaker, I'm sorry. So these are originally national taxes, but since the taxable elements are present already in the autonomous region, as already determined by the Intergovernmental Fiscal Policy Board, the collection and assessment of these 4 elements are to be done by the Bangsamoro Revenue Office. Another taxes or group of taxes that will be collected by the Bangsamoro Revenue Office are the taxes imposed and levied under this code, Madam Speaker. So the projected revenues that may be collected once this revenue code is enacted is in the first year of operation, Madam Speaker, there's a projection of more than 7 billion initially on what can be collected from these taxes. This covers all taxes, including the nationally imposed and levied taxes, but are to be collected within the autonomous region, therefore to be done by the Revenue Office. So we are expecting that the collections to reach billion amount, Madam Speaker. The structure requires 7 divisions in the organization of the BRO. As again pointed out, the BRO will collect all taxes existing in the autonomous region, including nationally levied taxes, Madam Speaker. So the idea of a lean and mean organization will be done by the Ministry of Finance and Budget and Management, in particularly providing the personal services or manpower requirement of the BRO. And we don't have, to be honest, Madam Speaker, an exact figure of how much will be the cost. But for 2026, the appropriate budget included in the BRO, since this is based on the existing approved positions of the BRO, is at 45 million, of which 23 million is the PS, MOOE of 21 million, and a very minimal amount of capital outlay. But I would assume that the capital outlay will eventually require a huge amount, particularly on the digitalization and computerization of the process that will be observed in the collection of the taxes through the BRO, Madam Speaker. So while the collection or the cost of putting up the BRO may eventually require much, Madam Speaker, but again, what will be collected by the BRO is not exclusive to the four taxes, yung capital gains tax and documentary tax and the other two, Madam Speaker, but all taxes, even covering those nationally levied taxes, which is expected to be amounting to at least 7 billion in the first year of the operations of this code, Madam Speaker.
Just to clarify, Madam Speaker, just on the same question, Madam Speaker,
Yes, MP Amboloto.
how much of the 7 billion are we already receiving, if not collecting? How much of the 7 billion are we now currently collecting, and how much of these are simply being transferred to us by the national government?
So you would like to compare
So
the
that, Madam Speaker,
future
that-
collection of 7 billion compared to the current share that we are receiving from the national government.
So basically, ang ano lang, Madam Chair, is to demonstrate for the committee to be able to demonstrate that with this, we are really getting more and with the collection being more efficient. Yun lang po, Madam Chair.
I think that's the last question because the floor leader is already standing there. It's now 5-7. Vice Chair?
Madam Chair, I have here the list, but I will try to get the more detailed one. But for 2024, we were able to collect from these revenue collections, meaning based on the fees and charges currently collected under the still existing and operative ARMM revenue code. For the tax revenue covering regional wealth tax, contractors tax, and travel tax, this in 2024 amounted to 193 million. As of, I'm not sure if it's as of date, but for 2025, it's amounting to 146 million and 500, or a total of 505 million for 2024. This does not include the income taxes collected within the autonomous region, Madam Speaker, but I assume
For
that-
the, yes, Vice Chair, sorry. So for the income tax, that's the share of the BARM. That's based on the taxes collected 3 years prior, correct? By the national government. The share is based on the collection 3 years prior.
Madam Chair, what happens is that the amount included in the national expenditure program of the national government is just an estimate or projection done by the BIR, and it's automatically appropriated. But the release of the fund is based on the actual collections made within the autonomous region after the submission by the BIR of the certificate of the BIR certification, Madam Speaker. So while there is an automatic appropriation from in the NEP, but the release is based on the actual collection, Madam
Of the
Speaker.
BIR.
Yes, Madam Speaker. This is currently collected by the BIR, and under the code, this will now be collected by the BRO, Madam Speaker. So for 2024, this does not include yet the income taxes collected within the BARM, but based on the BTO report, it amounts to 505 million, Madam Speaker.
So more or less around 1 billion pesos or just a little more. MP Amboloto, the
Madam Speaker.
comparison, 1 billion plus versus 7 billion plus.
Madam Speaker, just to further clarify the matter, we are very, very grateful for the clarification made by the Vice Chair and the Chair of the committee. Madam Chair, I would like to beseech the Deputy Floor Leader if he can allow me to expand at least 2 questions on the matter, on the last manifestation of the Vice Chair, maybe tomorrow, Madam Chair. I think it's already too late, Madam Chair, and people have already been very, very tired on.
The floor leader?
Honorable Presiding Officer, gladly the Honorable MP Teng Amboloto will be first to continue to interpolate tomorrow.
Floor leader, I think the Vice Chair would like to just make one last manifestation before we end.
Yes, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Yes, Madam Chair. Just to answer the question, the actual collections or amount included in the 2025 NEP is 5 billion for the income taxes to be collected or expected to be collected within the BARM, Madam Speaker. So a total of approximately 5.5 billion, including even the income taxes that may be collected within the
By the
2025.
BRO.
Yeah, currently by the BIR, Madam Speaker.
Currently by the BIR.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Floor Leader?
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Due to lack of material time, since our members of Parliament are gonna join the continuation of budget proceedings, I will be moving for the suspension. But before that, I will announce tomorrow's interpellators: the DFL Bong Parcasio, Mikey Rakim, Deputy Speaker Don Loong, Deputy Speaker Baintan Apatuan, MP Nagib Sinarimbo, Deputy Speaker Odin Sumagayon, in that particular order. With that, Honorable Presiding Officer, I move to suspend today's session until tomorrow, same time.
Session suspended until tomorrow, 2 p.m.